Record members present and absent, please.
Okay, hold on one second.
That's all right.
Okay,
And we
great.
do appreciate you being here this evening.
Thank you very much. Barton.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Kane.
Here,
McDermott.
Yes.
Singleton.
Here.
thank you. Would you also do the open meeting compliance statement, Brett?
I, the undersigned clerk of the Board of Education of the Alva Independent School District Number 1 of Woods County, Oklahoma, certify that prior to December 15th of the last calendar year, the date, time, and place of this regular meeting was filed in the office of the county clerk of Woods County, Oklahoma. I also certify that at least 24 hours prior to this meeting, excluding Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays, notice of the date, time, place, and agenda of this meeting was posted in the office of the superintendent.
Thank you. Item 3 is consent agenda. All of the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved by one board vote unless the board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. The consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, and approval of the following. 3.1 is additional items to the business, to the agenda. 3.2 is minutes. 3.3 is approval of finance. 3.4 is approval of purchase order encumbrances for FY27. 3.4 is extra duty schedule assignments. 3.5 is revised salary schedule. 3.6 is activity fund report. 3.7 is revised activity fund fundraisers. 3.8 is approval of activity fund inter-account transfers. 3.9 is approval of board policy and procedures. Hang on, have a lot of those. 3.10, declare the following items surplus. So we shall go back to 3.1 and ask, are there any items additional to be added to the agenda, sir?
I don't have any items.
Okay, hearing none, I would entertain you to take an opportunity, if you've not already, to look at our minutes and would entertain a vote when you are
It's the
ready.
consent agenda. We don't do those
Oh,
ones
it's
first.
consent agenda, never mind, I go through all of these and we come back. See, that's why these guys take such good care of you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
3. I'm sorry, any questions on the minutes?
Minutes are good.
Okay. 3.3, approval of finance report.
I don't have any.
Okay.
Those are our with temporary appropriations, we have $15,946,522 appropriated for the 26-27 school year. Those are temporary appropriations. We'll get our final allocations for appropriations when excise board sets that in October. So this is an estimate to get us started for the year.
Okay.
We currently have $64,468 less encumbered than we had this time last year. In July, we revenued $423,583. That does not include our carryover amount in the general fund of $6,025,978. If you remember, the largest revenue months come between January and April. That's why that carryover is so important to be able to get us financially through July through December.
Okay.
There's a little bit of money that comes in, but those big payments happen in the
Sure.
spring. So anyway, just kind of getting the year started on the general fund, but we're looking pretty decent compared. About the same as it was last year.
Okay.
In the building fund, the temporary appropriations, we have $4,148,382 appropriated. Again, we'll get those final in a couple of months. At the end of July, we had $159,127 more encumbered than we had this time last year. A large portion of that's going to be because of the portables project that we have and some of that kind of stuff going on. So this increase, yeah. In July, we collected $15,337, not including our carryover amount of $3,921,901. So we've been really taking care of that carryover in the building fund, growing it for what we're going through right now, not to spend some of it. So we did see a little bit of an increase in carryover, but it's going to offset the oral projects and that stuff. So the building fund's really important for those emergency situations.
Yeah.
As they're wrapping up the fire damage, and that should be done next. It's like a day here working on it. And then we've got insurance claimable roofs. Aaron told me today, Aaron Haney with the architect firm, they should have those final scopes, everything done in September. So we'll go to bid and get all that stuff done at that point. There'll be a lot of discussion with that committee in between now and then. They are seeing the end of the tunnel on the roof project. So anyway, that's where we're at financially.
Thank you. 3.4, vote to approve purchase order encumbrances for the following funds for fiscal year 27.
Okay, just, this one should be there. Just to go through a few of these. PO 124, I'll say this first. The majority of the purchase orders are the normal start school stuff, curriculum, academic services, and some maintenance in there. Just a few I want to highlight. PO 124 is the Midwest bus sales, $3,100 for bus repairs and maintenance. Just the annual maintenance, take them down. I think there's a couple windshields and some of that kind of stuff we had to replace. So. PO 143 and 144 is to Northwest Flooring for a combined $12,309. We put new flooring in the choir room here at the high school. It's a laminate flooring, replaced tile, and they repainted in there. And then we put new carpet in one of the offices at the middle school. We moved the IT room and turned that back into an office. That's where our elementary council office. So we put new carpet in there. So carpet at the middle school, carpet at the high school. It's Northwest Flooring. PO 145 to Panel Systems Manufacturing, $10,400. That's a room divider. It's a collapsible wall. That's what it is to divide the big room that's right before you get through the doors to go to the gymnasium at the middle school. It's where we did have Coach Jones ball dead. That will be the library and Title I room for Lincoln. So it's just a collapsible wall to divide that room. So Title I can have kind of their own separate quiet thing, or we can open it up and be open. So, yeah, it's a sliding. It's exactly what it is. It's not the zigzag accordion that we used to. They're solid panels, but they stack in on top of each other. I think one of them has a walk-through door, so when it's closed, you can walk through from the one room to the other. So it creates a little classroom in the back of it for Title I. That's what that is. PO 161 is Sean Buchanan for $3,000 for professional development for our staff to start the year as a speaker to come speak to staff during the in-service. He's actually the superintendent out in Gary and does a lot of, has written a book, got published, done all the things. And, does a really cool job, so I'm real excited to hear someone halfway local that understands Oklahoma education come do some professional development. So, anyway, that is that's the stuff I want to highlight, the general fund. Building fund. A few more things coming out here. PO 18, Midwest laser leveling. That's for $13,500. They came, Coach Sonos actually set all this up. They came and did some work on the football field down here. Like sanded it and smoothed it all out, re-leveled it. Still has a crown to it, so it's not flat, but it filled all the holes and the weight. It's just been a lot of years since we've done that. The grass will come back through it. So we plan to do the same thing, softball and baseball fields. We just didn't want to do it this close to softball season starting, which started like 2 weeks ago. So we'll do those next spring or summer. Did some maintenance on the football field there. PO 23 to Earl Harvey for a $1,500 window replacement at Washington from hail damage from that storm a month ago or so. PO 31 to Next Tech Consulting for $14,595 for installation of network and internet service at the Lincoln Portables. We're going to come out of the TSA room and run internet into all 4 of those buildings, both communication boards, Wi-Fi, and the teachers' computers. PO 32 is to OG&E, $18,443 for electric service installation. They're going to set 2 poles and run the service in there. PO 34 to Integrity Contracting, $28,692. Sidewalks down 9th Street and then behind the gym and around the edge of the middle school and cover up portables. 35 is to Wilson Construction, $38,000 for a deck installation, portables. PO 36 was to Index for $8,900 for the installation of fire alarms at Lincoln. And then 37, also to Index, another $8,900 for the installation of, that one's here at the high school, installation of isolation modules. This fire alarm system is all one big zone. So if one CO2 sensor trips, it trips the entire system. You have to have the whole thing reset instead of being able to reset the one zone. So like when we had the fire, the entire building went down because of that one smoke sensor that was in the ductwork outside. So they're going to put isolation sensors in there to be able to zone that out.
Good.
So that if we have an emergency or catastrophe like that, we can kill that piece of the building once everything's safe. Kill that piece of the building, and the rest of the building, the fire alarm's still operational. Instead of killing the whole system. So I'm doing the isolation modules there. Anyway, that's stuff I want to highlight in the building fund. In the child nutrition fund, there's a couple things. We're not doing a lot with child nutrition yet. This cafeteria's are open. Just a couple things. Kind of the big one I wanted to point out is PO 11, Merrifield office supply, $39,411. This is for new cafeteria tables at the middle school to handle the increased number of students from Lincoln, and the chairs, if they were worn out, that were there, they need to be replaced. So then we're back to cafeteria tables, traditional, they fold up and have the kind of toadstool type seating on the side. It looks really good in there.
What they do with all the other tables?
We still have them.
Okay.
We have them in storage, so if we need them for something, we
Sure, I
can,
just wondered,
Yeah,
I didn't know if
because
somebody else said,
switch out.
you know, we're real good going, hey, I can use that.
yeah.
So can we accommodate more people?
We can accommodate more people in there, yeah, and they're a little less maintenance, a little more efficient.
I don't think so.
Less noise.
Less noise.
We
Really?
can fit more people.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of, even from student discipline, student management, there's a lot of benefits to having traditional cafeteria tables.
Okay.
So, we need to replace them anyway, we need to increase our capacity in there, so that's the route we want to go. Since we'll be-
Okay. Joanne, I've got a
Okay.
question. Was that just roofing and leaking? What?
So, we had that same hailstorm that took out Washington, kind of destroyed the roof, on top of the hail damage we had fighting. Legal places that are leaking before, so they came up here and looked at it, did some of that, and they also did some work at the middle school, some of that, which I know is here, so.
Is that all equipped in that?
In all the buildings.
Not just for like,
It's not just Lincoln, but that, yeah,
it says Lincoln.
one of them's probably for the, they split it out to two. The 30, 30, so the high school. There we go. So they are split, so that one is for that's the day they came up here to evaluate what was even on the roof, to get an answer where we're at. So we've got some decisions to make there. Pretty big ones. That's what I've got for encumbrances.
Okay. I have 3.5. My memory system. Approval of extra duty schedule / assignment.
Just a couple things on our extra duty schedule. When they increase the range on athletic director stuff, talking to a guy that wants to do that. Put the range $4,000 to $6,000, $2,000 to $4,000 on that. Wanted to add, we had an extra duty for after-school detention. We want to add tutoring to that. The principals would like to do an after-school tutoring program. So we want to add tutoring tutoring to that extra duty. And then, middle school esports, there it is. They asked me about starting a middle school esports program. Have a lot of kids interested in it. They play about the same number of games and everything as the high school and do all, I mean, as far as esports goes, it's not like football where you play fewer games and like that. It's all kind of the same. So in high school we had $750 per sponsor for esports. Had 2 sponsors. Probably so. My suggestion is do the same thing for middle school. Let's say be that. So that's the stuff in the extra duty schedule. As far as extra duty assignments, these are highlighted in yellow on that. Coach Jones, I'd like to make him the athletic director for middle school and high school. $6,000 and $4,000. He has done that at other places, even at collegiate level. So I feel like he really has experience to do a good job at athletic director position. Kelly Kilman will be one of our middle school esports sponsors, and John Lowe will be the other middle school esports sponsors. And then Daniel Rojas, assistant basketball coach for 7th and 8th grade girls, and assistant middle school baseball coach. And that's the changes to the extra duty assignments.
Is the athletic director position fulfilled just exactly what we had in our current, or our past when we did both high school and middle school?
Yes. That will open a middle school assistant position.
And we haven't filled it yet.
We haven't filled it yet. Until he's already thrown that open. But I have had somebody show interest in it.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll move over to 3.5, approval of revised support salary. I guess that's 3.6, salary schedule.
As we evaluate all the things, I think I've talked to a couple of you about this, I just really feel like we need to increase our pay for our support staff. Did a lot of looking, different numbers and that kind of thing, comparing what other places are doing. I'd like to add $1 to the salary schedule for our support staff, is the base salary. Bump everybody $1, and then in the future look at, as we adjust things, look at that step increase that we have, or some kind of merit system, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that a merit system is important for that. And I do agree with raising the base up. We need to be competitive.
So adding $1 puts us back up to competitive. If you look at a custodian or secretary starting out, year 1 was making $11.70 or $11.90. We're just having a hard time competing.
You bet.
And
When you would
so
with that.
today's world, I'd like to do $1 increase now, and then take some time, really look at that schedule.
I
See
appreciate
if
it.
there's some adjustments we can do in there to help them with user service, that kind of thing.
So is there $1 on the cooks and the clerical and the
Yeah, it
parents?
adds $1 to every
All
category.
across the board,
Yeah.
okay.
That will cost approximately $135,000 over what we budgeted, we're planning on for this year. So it is an investment, but
Important.
you need to invest in your people, invest in good people.
You bet. Thank you for
Sorry,
thinking.
where I'm at.
It is. 3.7, approval of activity fund report.
Not a lot going on in the activity fund yet. Athletics deposited $7,159 as they started collecting for the marketing plan, some of that stuff. Football deposit $4,786. Softball deposited $5,020. Ladybug basketball $3,777. These are all from fundraisers, camps, or donations they've started receiving as the school year starts. So other than that, just hasn't been much movement in the
Sure.
activity
It'll
fund.
pick up.
I'm sure it will.
Yes, it will. 3.8, approval of revised activity fund fundraisers.
The list you got there, sorry. The list list you've got there is should be the fundraisers for the entire year. She went back and added, the new fundraisers for this year are highlighted in yellow. It also shows the amounts, of each fundraiser generated for the past 2 years with the total amounts deposited in the last 2 years. So it's probably not totally inclusive. Seems like we always have a fundraiser pop up here and there, but this is primarily the list of fundraisers for the year.
Any questions about any of that? Hearing none. 3.9, inter-account transfers.
I don't have any transfers.
3.10, approval of board policy procedures.
Okay, I'm gonna start going through these. There's several. If you have any questions, stop me as we go. The following policies we're gonna talk about are all recommended by the OSSBA to comply with statute changes. It's that kind of time of the year where all the dust is settled from all the legislative stuff, and they've got the policy out. So the first series I'm gonna talk about is the FNCD policy. This is a bullying policy. State Department is requiring school districts to update bullying policies to include annual training for students and staff. Professional development for staff should cover bullying prevention, identification, response, and reporting. Students must receive training on identifying, preventing, addressing, and reporting bullying incidents. Updates to the FNCD series addresses those requirements and clarifies that the Safe Schools Committee at each site will review this policy and provide recommendations to district administrators in the future. So there's 4 policies there: FNCD, -R, -P. So that's all bullying stuff, and the same way we have to train our staff and train our students. Then it's got the bullying. Policy BABB. This came from Senate Bill 346. It provides 2 exceptions to the background check requirement for all staff. Number 1, if an applicant has a background check within the past 5 years and has either been employed as a teacher or a substitute at another school, they can utilize a letter from the previous school and use the previous background check instead of conducting a new one. So add that. If you've had a background check in the last 5 years, and the school sends a letter saying nothing's happened and you haven't accused anything, you can use that
And they were
background check.
clear when they left.
And then it further goes on to say that the letter the school has to provide is actually an affidavit from the district, a notarized affidavit from the district principal and or superintendent, attesting as to whether the teacher was the subject of an allegation of inappropriate behavior with the student and whether there was a pending or ongoing investigation of inappropriate behavior with the student. So they can use the background check that's less than 5 years old if the sending school will provide an affidavit that they didn't do anything inappropriate.
Is there a time limit on us receiving an affidavit from the sending school?
I haven't heard of time.
I haven't either, I just wonder, I mean,
I don't think-
when do we say, well, we've waited long enough, and we've got to
I
make
feel like we
it's
would,
good, so,
tell the applicant, here's the deadline.
well,
And there's got to be communication with the other school. If the other school says no, they're
we
going to
have
be
to go
background
on,
check.
yeah, certainly, and I just didn't know.
And that's going to happen. You're going to have, you may have a principal change at the other school and they don't know that teacher.
That's right.
So they can't, that principal may not feel comfortable signing a legal